it was the perfect temperature warm. It was so good. That rye, all rye imperial rye whiskey barrel aged stout.
Ooh.
It was good. 14 and a half, something like that. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this should be a good one. And we are live. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 226, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment. Tonight, we will be talking some Star Trek.
Right.
All super chats are read on the air so long as they will not permanently demonetize my channel. We do drink alcohol on the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. Last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to the Discord server, where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out over there.
That's right. And you can even catch up on my adventures of how many beers I'm drinking in a row without dying.
That's right. What are you at now? 34.
34. So
okay.
This will be this next one will be 35. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. Again, most people are like, "Oh, I do 35 on a weekend."
Right.
Yeah, imagine having zero food in your stomach and like no juice, no nothing, no sugars, no little snacks.
Water and the bread of life, as the Germans would probably call it.
That is it. That is all I'm getting. So
yeah. Well, just promise you won't be mad with what I'm drinking tonight. I think I'll start us off. I've got an IPA because I'm going to let the I'm going to let this other one warm up a bit. From Stickman Brewing Company, it is the F-Bomb IPA.
Oh, I've had that.
Yeah. So nice, middle of the road, 7%, 75 IBU. And it is a straightforward IPA loaded with Falconer's Flight hops in both the boil and the dry hop.
Oh, I love Falconer's Flight. Yeah. I did a couple of beers with that. It's really good. It's a mixed pellet blend of Mosaic Citra, Chinook, Cascade, and something. I think Amarillo.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I know it's got Chinook in there. There we go. John, what's your dinner your first beer of the night?
This is my dinner. This will actually be the original brew the monks brewed for what I'm doing. It is a Polliner's Salvatore. Their double bock beer coming in at 7.9%. So almost imperial.
Nice. Now, for those who don't know what it is you're doing and why we're making referenced jokes, what are you doing, John?
So it is something that these monks right here have been doing for over 440 plus years, something like that. Mm-hmm. They brewed the specific beer for fasting during Lent. If you don't know what Lent is, Jeff, I know you do, but for the viewers, it is a time of fasting between March 2nd and Easter. Modernized versions give it like you give up social media, meat, something along the way. Yeah. Monks back then gave up food. Yeah. They gave up everything. So they brewed this beer to keep them alive because it was so grainy and malty. It had enough nutrients to do it. And I thought that was a really cool idea. And then I found out that this process was even blessed by the Pope himself at the time.
Yes. Because
when they shipped beer to see if it was blessed, the monks thought it was so delicious. It was a sin to drink this beer. It should be. But when they sent a barrel to the Pope, it spoiled as it traveled through the heat. Mm-hmm. And then the Pope sat there and said, if you would drink, anyone who would drink this rancid of a thing will be the purest of them all. Drink as much as you want. And that got back to the monks. And well, yeah.
Don't change anything.
Yeah. Everyone, shh, don't say it.
Exactly. Let's see. What do we got in the chat?
I saw a couple good ones.
Derico's drinking just water. We've got...
I do that too.
Yep. There we go. Skull's drinking a Revolution Brewing Company Death's Tar Bourbon Barrel-Aged Oatmeal Stout.
Ooh.
Michael Stevens has a Sierra Nevada Powder Day IPA, 7.7%. Tagoyer is enjoying a vintage 2022 Coke Zero.
Ooh, that's I hear that's a good year.
Yeah.
Novella Hub's got an Anchorage Do Us Apart double dry hopped IPA.
Nice. Jason's got a Rogue Double Chocolate Stout. Fantastic.
Local right there. Yeah,
Yep.
we get that stuff.
Yep. Apparently they're carrying 4-packs at Costco. That's pretty cool.
Jeez.
John Jay is having a very local favorite in the Pirate Rum Barrel Aged Coconut Stout.
Oh, one of our personal favorites.
Yes, from Sandy M Brewing, the Pirate Stout.
Yes.
It is one of their regulars. It is one of the only beers that I can think of offhand that is always barrel aged.
Yeah, and like it's always there.
And it's always there. They make it 365 days a year, and it's phenomenal.
That's great.
Yep, 8%.
I mean, 8%. So I mean, it's not like the biggest. It's not 8. I think it's only aged for 6 months or something like that.
4 or 6 months, somewhere right in there.
But still, it's a fantastic. The flavor comes out.
Mm-hmm.
The coconut comes out. It's just like, how did no one else do this?
Right.
This is great.
And how do they keep doing it? Because barrel-aged beers, they take a bit of time to get together.
Well, and they're constantly, because I know they blend it, so they're constantly checking it. I got a tour one time and how they do it.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. Like they said, it's like, it's a couple hours a day process.
Yeah.
Because you got to go and test every barrel.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, here's test this, mix this with this. Here's notes, writing down data.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. John Jay says it is delicious.
Yes, it is. Let's see. Last one, we'll do Nick of Times. Goose Island. Got a Bourbon County Stout over there.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I had the 2021 Bourbon County Stout last night. I finally cracked open my first bottle of it. It's one that's going to need aged a little bit. It was still very, very carbonated, a little bit more than I would have liked it to be. I mean, overall, the flavors were pretty good, but it still had this little bit of a lingering bitterness that kind of caught me off guard. Now, halfway through the bottle, I really didn't care because it's 14.2%.
Yes.
But fantastic beer. But I think kind of like, what was it, 2016, I can think of the last one that was just a little bit raw coming out.
Yeah, a little harsh.
Yeah.
I know I had you said the 21. I had the 20. Yeah, I think I did have the 21 or 20. It was on draft.
Oh, wow.
Someone had it here locally on draft, and I had, 8 ounces of that. And I thought it was really good draft.
Mm-hmm.
But we both know draft and bottle can taste completely different.
Yes, they can.
And then just batch numbers too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know which is which.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. What's funny is because I'm doing this and I need higher calorie beers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I need to start going into my wax reserves now. Oh yeah. I know. I need those 500 calorie beers.
Well, I saw your shelf full of Fremonts, so let's not pretend you don't have them to spare.
But I don't want to use them.
Oh, all right. Well, now that John is fully lubricated for the show, let's go ahead and get into the tech news. But not before. Andrew sends over a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Andrew. Is it a crime to enjoy U.S. light beer? Example, Miller. As long as you enjoy it, there's no judgment here. So, I personally can't stand domestics, but I have a history where I had to work grocery for a year in high school, and my number one job was cleaning out the bottle return machines, because in Oregon we have a deposit. Back then it was 5 cents, now it's 10 cents on every bottle. And so all of our supermarkets and grocery stores have giant bottle return machines. And as you can imagine, they smell like 3-month-old rotten, stale domestic beer all the time, with a little side hint of mold and every form of mildew and cigarette butts and everything else. And my job was to maintain those machines and keep them running. So for some odd reason, I cannot stomach the flavor of a domestic light beer.
Oh, yeah. No, the one thing I will say, I got to preface this. If you are a domestic drinker, nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But then when you criticize craft beer drinkers for only having like 3 a day or 3 in an evening, and you're like, oh, I pounded 20 down. Yeah, because you're at 3.5%.
Yeah. What is this one? Oh, 14.0.
Yes, exactly. I mean, mine's almost 8, which would be, this little 12-ouncer is twice the amount of 2 Millers. So I may be having 3, but they're double or triple what you're drinking.
Yep. Big Spoon says Bud Light Orange is the go-to around here.
I'm gonna switch everyone to the Bud Light Orange seltzer sodas.
Ugh.
Get you all.
You know, they need to come out with like a Bud Light creamsicle seltzer.
Well, that's what
like the old Henry Weinhard,
like a root beer.
No, they also have an orange cream soda.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They need an orange creamsicle light seltzer.
Didn't they come out, or Henry Weinhard, didn't they make a hard version of that, or was that just the root beer?
I know there was the Not Your Father's root beer.
Yeah,
that kind of started the trend of alcoholic sodas. Actually,
I think so. Yeah,
it was the first one to come out. And actually that also kind of kickstarted the canned cocktail revolution that we've seen as of late. But yeah, I don't recall them ever making genuine I don't remember Henry Weinhard's in particular ever making genuine alcoholic root beer, orange cream, vanilla cream, that kind of thing. So might be worth looking into.
Yeah, be interesting. The history of what started us into this seltzer craze.
All right.
Let's
get into it. Starting with March 8th. Yesterday was Apple Day. Apple held one of their quarterly events announcing new products, and this time around, they certainly did not disappoint. Now, they only announced 2 new products. There was the new Mac Retina Studio display, which is a 5K 27-inch display with 100% accurate color across the board, regardless of what color space you're working in. It is hardware calibratable. It is everything you want in a studio display. If you are working on, large production, creative content, whether it's photo editing or video editing or whatever else, this is a display you're going to want to take a look at. And while Apple's had this caliber of display for a while, think back to their last Pro display with their $6,000 unit.
Stand.
Yeah, no, it was $1,000 for the stand, which, by the way, it comes with the stand this time, but it's $400 to add a swing arm to it. $400. For $400, you can come pretty darn close in color accuracy. But that wasn't the product that kind of shook up the Apple fanboys and got their jimmies all rustled in the most positive way possible. Yeah, started drinking the Apple Kool-Aid. That is reserved for the M1 Mac Studio, powered by an M1 Ultra CPU. There it is right there, looking like the triple height. Can we just call it a Mac Mini tall boy?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a Mac Mini bomber.
Well, with the picture, I did actually think it was going to be just this size.
Yeah. Nope, it's about 3 times the height of a traditional Mac Mini that we all know and love. I have a Mac Mini M1 on my desk. It's where I do all my 3D printing and 3D design stuff for the channel. And it works fantastically. And that's one of their 8-core M1s with 8 graphics cores. Nothing wrong with it. That thing chugs away, and it does a darn good job doing it. This last fall, Apple introduced the M1. It was the M1 Plus and the M1 Max. I always draw a blank on the middle name, but anyway, they announced 2 new laptops in the 14-inch and the 16-inch MacBook Pros, and you can get the improved M1, which has I forget how many cores, but the M1 Max is a 10-core unit with 8 performance cores, 2 low performance cores, or 2 energy efficient cores, and 24 graphics processors. Which, I mean, 3 times the graphics horsepower and double the performant cores of the existing M1.
Yeah. Sounds
like a great deal. As we're all kind of waiting for that next leap that Apple can potentially make. Yeah, M1 Pro and M1 Max. There it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Pro being their second to bottom tier always throws me off.
Was it M1 Pro? Or,
it was the M1 Pro. So the M1, which can come with 8 cores, which is 4 performant and 4 efficiency, and 8 or even 7 graphics cores, depending on the model that you get. There's the M1 Pro. Then there's the M1 Max, which is the 10-core with 8 performant cores, so double the horsepower of the M1 standard, and 24 graphics cores, which is 3 times the graphics power of the M1 standard. What made the new Mac Studio jump off the page, besides its form factor, was the M1 Ultra processor. So apparently the most max that you can max out your Macs with is not the M1 Max. It happens to be the M1 Ultra for your Mac.
Well, next year will be the Ultra Max.
Right.
All this did though was so funny when I was watching this. All this did was remind me of like Japanese anime of like when the superhero just has to get stronger and stronger and stronger and like, this is my ultimate form.
Yeah.
2 episodes
now
later,
this is my
new ultimate form.
He's over $6,000.
Exactly. Oh man, did no one make that reference? That would have been
funny. I do what I can with what you give me. So the M1 Ultra is, let's just call it what it is, a beast of a CPU. Apple has essentially doubled up the M1 Max. So again, the M1 Max that you put in Max is not the max performance that you can get in a Mac. The M1 Ultra doubles it up. So it is 20 cores, 16 of which are high performant cores. 4 are your energy efficiency cores. And 48 or 64 graphics processors. So from the original M1, this is 8 times the graphics processing load and 4 times the actual per core performance, or the actual core performance when divvied out. Not just that, but the M1 Ultra, some benchmarks leaked out, and they have been found to be genuine by multiple sources at this point. So I didn't mind sharing this information. It's always great to speculate about how fast or how slow or energy efficient or whatever a certain new processor is going to be. In this case, some was this Geekbench? I want to say it's Geekbench. Yeah, Geekbench 5 results came out. Geekbench 5 with the M1 Ultra chip getting a 1793 in single-threaded performance and 24055 in multi-threaded performance, which places it 21% faster in single-threaded than the Mac Pro 28-core. Or no, sorry. 21% faster than the 28-core Intel Xeon that is in the 28-core Mac Pro. You know, if you spent $12,000 on your tower last year,
those, yeah. Gosh,
this beats it by 20%.
One.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The M1 Ultra is 56% faster in single-threaded performance than that system as well, which also comes as no surprise because the 28-core Mac Pro, I believe, has a base clock of 2.9 and a turbo of 3.6 or something like that. And we all know the M1 single-thread performance is up there with the 12900K and Ryzen 5950X. So leaving, essentially an old Skylake Xeon in the dust is not that surprising. What is surprising is just how thoroughly trounced that $12,000 PC is for now what is a $4,000 box. There are two versions of the Mac Studio available. You can get it with the M1 Max, so the 10-core variant with 24 graphics processors, 32 gigs of RAM, and 512 SSD storage for $2,000. And of course, you can build to order and increase memory and things like that. Or you can get the M1 Ultra, and that one starts at $4,000. And that is the 48 graphic variant with 64 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte NVMe. Gen 4 SSD, which actually does 7.8 gigabytes per second. So pretty performant storage in those things as well.
Yeah, but only 1 terabyte.
Only 1 terabyte, but
yeah.
But honestly, if you're working with workflows like this, you're using the built-in 10 gig Ethernet or Thunderbolt storage, of which this has 4 Thunderbolt ports. Oh, and a built-in SD card reader.
Well, finally.
Yeah.
Finally, that's what we were looking for. Because the other one, all it did was grade cheese.
Yeah.
This one,
well, it also melted it. So
yes, this one
made great nachos.
I do wonder though, as the other one, the Pro, had at least handles. This is going to be hard to lug around. There's no form factor to this.
There's not. Grab? I mean, it's basically an aluminum block. It's like a half block in Minecraft.
Well, yeah. I guess the one issue I do have then is it's designed then to be on your desk, not the floor.
Yes.
And so it can't be either or. It is a desktop.
Right. Literally. This is a desktop unit. However, the Mac Mini has a small enough form factor. It does sit on a desktop very, very easily.
Well, this is what, three or 4 times the size?
Only the height. The footprint is the same.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was.
No, this isn't big. It's like this thick, but square.
Okay, that's not horrible. That's like a net book or one of those portable drives, the books.
Oh yeah,
the HP storage drives.
Yeah,
that's not actually too horrible.
No, I mean,
especially if you could just.
I mean, here, check it out. Those are USB-C and the SD reader on the front of it.
Yeah, and if you could just
not that big.
Side, that's actually not too bad.
That's exactly how I have my Mac Mini set up right now. It's kind of sitting like nestled up to the monitor foot, and you barely even know it's there.
Oh yeah, so when it said 3 times the size, I thought everything.
Yeah. We did miss a super chat. Elmis sends over 1,000 yen. Thank you very much. Always appreciated. If I could turn back time, I would try share a share drive.
You just gotta auto tune that drive.
Yeah, that was. There's not much of a story behind how that pun came to be. I was reading through my script, so that video was 100% scripted out. At least the second half of it was. And I stumbled on like the very last word or second to last word in a sentence. And I said, which I'm going to name it. And then I like just blanked out for a second. Then I went, share. And then I went, I should name it share. And then the puns just started flying for both me and Rhett. You can now share your share library in the share drive.
Yeah. And yeah, all of the subfolders are just her greatest hits.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also the joke, is I connected to share, and it was a text file with share song titles.
But then is Sunny the drive that crashes? Oh.
That joke was pro bono, wasn't it?
Oh, Oh.
Come at me, bro. Oh, yes. Oh, let's see. This was really cool news. This I was super excited to see come across the news. So for those who don't know, itch.io is a website that mostly specializes in independent studio games. So you can self-publish a game, you can charge whatever you want, and they provide you a platform and a digital storefront where they will accept money for your game, and then they can download it directly from them. You don't have to web host or anything like that. And so for indie game makers, it's a great place to be, and it's a great place to be if you want to just check out some tech demos that people have come up with, or weird obscure games, or
yeah, exactly. They're just small little games. Yeah, like this is niche.
I can't tell you how much time I've spent on what is even the name of it. You ever play Jenga as a kid, but you just build up the tower and then like knock it down in different ways? Yeah. There's a tech demo on there that will recreate essentially like giant Jenga buildings. So you can use blocks and you can define the size and shape of the block. It'll also do a couple buildings and like parking garages and things like that. But the fun one is you build, I think it's just called Tower. And you build a tower of blocks and it auto-generates it depending on your specs. And then you can throw objects at it, and you can also define the specs of the objects. You can define their size, their velocity, their mass, and knock the tower down in creative ways. I've wasted...
So it's like tower knocking down simulator or something like that.
Right, and there's no point. It's not a game. It's just a tech demo.
No, but you want to see all the things crumble in different ways.
But you've also got things like dynamite that you can throw out there, and you can vary the intensity of the dynamite, and you can vary the physics. And
what is it? It sounds like physics simulator for like a video game maker or something like that. Right. Said, here's all the plugins. Now you get to mess with it live.
Right, and that's exactly what it is. And I'm the kind of person that finds that kind of stuff fascinating. And how much damage can I cause to a structure before it fails? Or how far can I throw the bricks from this building, and what happens if I hit it in from this side? Does it cave in a certain way?
Yeah,
it's just fun to mess around at like 1 in the morning when you can't sleep.
It's one of those like bathroom. I mean, you can't do it on your phone, but like the toilet games and everything like that. Right. They're just stupid games. Right. Like, I'm on my computer. I got 15 minutes.
How do you think Angry Birds got so popular?
Exactly.
Like, same concept. Anyway, itch.io, fantastic website. They often during global crises will do game bundles that they will then send 100% of proceeds or a certain percentage of proceeds to a good cause. They did this for the Palestinian relief last year, or 2020, I believe it was. They also did one for racial justice. And they set up a bundle for Ukraine relief and raised $1.6 million in 24 hours just from indie game sales on this giant bundle that they put together. So basically, you can define how much you want to spend. I mean, if you want to give $10, you can get a couple hundred different indie games and Dungeons and Dragons manuals and tile sets for like actual tabletop RPGs. You can get story and visual novel stuff on there, and tech demos and fun little games and whatnot. Really, really a cool deal. Like I said, I'm on itch.io all the time, just seeing what is new, what is happening. Yeah. And I'm really never I usually always find something that's worth sinking an hour or two into, at least.
Well, they said, they tweeted out recently too that they bumped up the goal now because it was such a success to $2 million, and they're already at 1.62, and they're expecting to hit that 2 million basically within the next 24 hours.
Can I give an update?
All right.
They're at 3.24 million.
Dude.
They've now stretched the goal to 9 million.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it is.
That'll buy you an aircraft.
So yeah, it is $10 to get this entire bundle, and the normal price of this bundle is $6,553. In fact, let me throw this up on the screen really quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Yeah, they're at $3.25 million. Largest contribution has been $9,000. You can give as much as you want or as little as $10.
That's still awesome.
Right. 992 titles is what's included right now. Crosscode. What is this? Looks like a top-down isometric RPG. Yeah.
That comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah, all these games are included. Oh, you get Super Hot. There you go.
Oh, nice.
If you've never played Super Hot, go spend $10. Get yourself a copy of Super Hot. And an additional 991 games at no extra cost.
That right there is just worth it.
Yeah.
I paid way more for that game.
I know that Untitled Goose Game is also on itch.io. I don't know if it's part of this bundle, but yeah. There's some good games in there. Legit good games you've never heard of. If it were me, which it is, so I'm going to hit buy it now. Because I haven't done it yet.
If someone donates Super Chats $10, Jeff's going to buy it.
I already bought it.
Okay.
I threw 15 in there. So, tell you what. If all you could do the same, I'd very much appreciate it. How's that?
Yeah, if you were then thinking about super chatting Jeff, go quickly and buy that instead. I don't mean to speak for Jeff, but Jeff would probably rather have that than the $10 you'd give him right now.
I actually would. There we go. All right. I have purchased the pack. Skatebird. It's a game about trying your best. Skatebird. Hold on.
It sounds like a dad game.
Skatebird.
Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. They got a bird butt dance going on there for the demo.
Yeah. Lots of fun
Probably
stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Yeah, please jump on, donate to them, get some cool games on top of that. Even though it is my birthday, I'd rather you not give super chats to me today. Go give it to itch.io and get yourself some fun games and support a good cause at the same time. You know what else you can do? Visit our video sponsor, Linode. And hey, for once, my notes didn't of course the Hold on. Where's my Something's always got to break because I self-host it, right? Gosh. Every time. Nope, that's my regular ad. Talking Heads. Hey, there it is. I'm gonna cheat.
Oh, did you film it?
I'm gonna cheat.
You're just gonna do it?
There we go. Well, I have a pre-roll ad for them that I actually run as well on my normal videos.
Are you just gonna? Oh my gosh, you are cheating it.
Today's video is brought to you by Linode. If you've ever needed to host your own servers, whether it be for home or business use, but don't have the time to invest into hardware, power, cooling, or even space, why not let Linode host them for you? If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. That includes the software for most of the tutorials on my channel, like how to run your own ad-blocking recursive DNS server, VPN gateway, your own cloud-based Plex server, and more. With shared CPU plans starting at as little as $5 per month and scaling up to as high as you need to go, you'll be able to find a hosting plan that fits your needs. Even if you do host your own servers, you can use Linode to keep a backup off-site. Because remember, RAID is not a backup. Linode also recently announced they are the first alternative cloud provider to have NVMe block storage available to all customers. In September, they began rolling out NVMe drives to all 11 of their global data centers. Best of all, storage rates will remain at the same low price they always have been. Visit linode.com/craftcomputing to get a $100 60-day credit just for signing up for a new account. That's linode.com/craftcomputing. And again, a huge thanks to Linode for sponsoring today's video.
Well, Jeff, unfortunately, I'm still hungry. So I'm going to have to open up another one.
I had steak for lunch. We had steak and like a pilaf rice and salad with an apricot chili sauce on it. Oh God, it was delicious. There was also chopped almonds on top of it, on top of the rice. Ooh, steady orbit.
Steady orbit. Nice. A session IPA. I figured, well, if I'm going to be doing this, I don't want to get drunk, but I need the calories. But yeah, so recently, you know how some people like will just scroll through Zillow as a, you know, a type of thing. Right? No one does that. I never do. I now do that with food places. I'm just like, I can't wait to have that food. I want that food. If only I could have that food.
For dinner, we had chicken tacos.
Shut up. Jeez.
Yeah. Chicken and salsa in the Instant Pot, and then shredded it up. It was good.
I know. I keep telling people, like, they're like, you're going to die from this. I'm like, no. I won't be dead by 46 days. I'll be dead on 47.
Yeah.
All the food I'm going to
eat. You're going to explode.
I'm going to just,
Yeah. And for tonight, for my traditional post-Talking Heads meal, I have some leftover Little Caesars deep dish 3-meat pizza that I'm going to toss in my air fryer.
I was just looking at air fryers today too, because I was like, I so want that stuff.
I bought the coolest thing right around 6 or 8 months ago. It is a combination toaster oven air fryer.
I was looking at, was it on Amazon?
No, I found it in Target. I'm walking through, and my toaster oven was getting like bad. And I love toaster ovens. I use them all the time. And when we moved, my wife got rid of our air fryer because we never used it, and it was always difficult to clean and everything else. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of want an air fryer again. And so we're just walking through Target, and I happened upon the golden machine that could replace my dying toaster oven and get me an air fryer at the same time. And I've got to tell you, it is freaking amazing.
So I have to ask you then, and I know this has nothing to do with tech, but now I'm just intrigued for my stomach and everything else, is I was looking into those, and I didn't know if they would get like hot fast enough and cook. Does it cook the same amount of time? Does it take the same amount of time?
It is.
As the air fryer?
It takes longer than an air fryer, but it is also shorter than a conventional oven. So it's kind of like this middle ground where, and it depends on what it is, because I have some foods that cook incredibly fast in there. I find the onion rings that I like to do take just as long as a conventional oven. So some things go faster, some things go slower. It's weird. But for like reheating Little Caesars deep dish triple meat pizza, less than 5 minutes, and it's piping hot, just like straight out of the box. Like, it's terrific. Pizza rolls in there. Oh yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I know. I don't know what to buy, and then I'm still thinking I'm still only 8 days away, and it's like, oh my gosh, I got a whole nother month basically before I can have
going into delirium thinking what I'll do when I can finally eat.
Everything. So I will say that my sense of smell has just increased tremendously, and everything I smell, even stuff I would normally eat, I'm like, I want to eat that. I want to eat that so bad. I mean, you and I are somewhat picky eaters. I'm probably just as much or more so than you.
I think you're more so than me.
Yeah, and everything, I'm like, I will eat that so bad. Yeah. I will have mustard and all this. That looks delicious.
Yeah, see, we had we went out to dinner, my wife and I, on Sunday, and I had chicken pad thai with shrimp. Yeah.
Pasta.
Yeah. Oh man, it was delicious.
I was looking at a pasta recipe today. I don't even need Pornhub anymore. I got food channels.
I got Food Network.
Someone was sending me like pickle sushi, and I was like, "Yeah, I'd eat that. That looks great. It's got meat."
Gosh. You're calling up Rachel Ray's hotline. What are you making right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, describe it slower, please.
American Cosworth says Delirium is a great beer.
It is a great beer. It's got the Delirium recently started canning their beer too, so you can now know you don't have to get the ceramic bottle.
Clay bottles.
It's a little bit cheaper. Yeah, you can now get them just in the can, which makes it a little bit cheaper.
Nice.
So,
although if you want that genuine experience, you got to have the clay bottle.
Oh yeah, you need to get like at least one of them.
Yeah. And let me tell you, it's worth it.
Yep.
Rom says, I've been tormenting John with food. We all have.
Yes, everyone has. I sit there and every year I do something and everyone tortures me like, you know what? They can't torture me with drinks this year. And now they're just like, here's what I'm eating today. Like, screw you all.
Yeah. John's like, my normal torture to John is I can have a beer with lunch. And so I love taking pictures of like today, we had steak and pilaf and a couple other things. And I cracked open an Oscar Blues 1050.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Stout with
9% Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
Delicious. It was fantastic. In fact, the meal was so good that the beer, Rhett and I both had taken like this much out of our beer by the time the meal was gone and seconds were served. And we're like, you can tell the steak was good because I've barely touched my Imperial Stout. But normally the way I torture John is I'll take pictures of my beer, like 1050 from Oscar Blues, and I'll send it at John at like 12:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like, here's my lunch, buddy. And now I just take a picture of like the chimichanga that's the size of my arm.
That sounds delicious.
Tell you what, on day 47, I'll come up and take you out for lunch.
Yeah, it's gonna be cheap because it's gonna be like I can have a half a cheeseburger. I'm like, oh, I'm full.
Right.
It's stuck. My wife set me out for it was day 7 or so, and my nephew came over, Steve's kid.
I like how you've already lost track.
Oh, I know, right? And I have. People are saying my beer count's off too, so I could be off on that too. But they sent me just to go get, kids chicken nuggets and French fries, McDonald's. Oh my! They made it all fresh. The bag was smelling delicious. Oh, that was hard. That was so hard not to eat a French fry and lick the salt, or just like lick the salt off.
Right.
I'm gonna stick it back in. Oh God.
Oh man.
It'll be a interesting month.
Yes.
Yeah. But you actually, I know we're getting away from tech stuff, but don't mean to do that. But it is interesting because every time I feel off or like, I feel sickly or hungry, and then I have a beer to fix it. It's weird. I have this beer. I feel great. It's literally like Popeye and spinach. It's like, oh, this is great. This boosted me. I just need that Homer Simpson. Yeah. Oh wait, there we go. Yeah.
Anyway. Good times. We talked last week, or at least Rhett and I did, about Rivian completely pissing off their customers. For those who didn't follow or didn't see last week's show, Rivian is an electric car company, and they've had an electric truck essentially on pre-order for like 3 or 4 years now. I think 2018 they started taking pre-orders for this truck. We need shirts. Popeye's John's spinach beer. Oh, dude, the muscle, but like a pint.
Yes, exactly. We could do the craft computing pint.
Yes. Just the Pilsner glass on top.
Yeah, I already know that'll be photoshopped by the end of the night.
Yep. Rom, get on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rivian has been taking pre-orders on their trucks for about the last 4 years, I believe since 2018. And the trucks were supposed to sell for somewhere between $70,000 and $85,000, depending on what features, what range, etc. Dual motor, single motor, and all that. Well, Rivian announced last week that they are increasing the price of the Rivian truck by pretty much a minimum of $8,000, and as some people found out, as much as $12,000 to $20,000. And if you pre-ordered the truck, if you still wanted the truck, you were going to be on the hook for that amount. Now, you can cancel at any time, but it was a $1,000 down payment that you'll have to get back. And so there were a couple fairly prominent YouTubers, Quinn Nelson of Snazzy Labs and Zach of Jerry Rig Everything. They had both pre-ordered Rivian trucks, and I believe Zach's went up by $12,000 and Quinn's went up by $18,000, I want to say, to over six figures. I think his total purchase price would have been like $105, up from $87. So not an insignificant leap, and kind of a middle finger to your customers who gave you a 4-year interest-free $1,000 loan. Very few of these trucks have shipped. It appears that most of the trucks have shipped to employees only. So it's not like they're going out to customers or anything like that. They're just not fulfilling customer orders, and then they're jacking the price up by 20 or 30%. Obviously, that didn't sit well with Rivian's customers. This week, I'm actually very happy to say that Rivian has reversed course on that. Not the price hike itself, but on holding their pre-order customers to that new price. The CEO sent out a message saying that if you pre-ordered a Rivian truck, you will be locked into that price point. If you canceled the Rivian truck pre-order at any time after March 2nd or March 1st, after this was originally announced that the price increase would happen and that you'd be on the hook for it, you can re-pre-order and you will get your same spot in line and the same guaranteed price you had before, which honestly is a fantastic move. There's really nothing else they could have done to maintain any goodwill with their customers. So, I'm the first to criticize companies. I'm also the first to say companies who got it right. And yeah, Rivian stubbed their toe, and this was probably a misstep by them, thinking that people would just be okay spending an extra $20,000 on a truck they've waited 4 years for and had a locked-in price for, and everything else that goes along with that. To a full reverse of course, saying, yes, the trucks are going to cost more money, but if you pre-ordered it, we will honor that pre-order arrangement.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it should have come down to. No matter what, any company that does anything like this as a pre-order should remain the same price, and then just say, hey, for anyone additional that didn't order at the right time, it's now an X amount of charge. Honestly, that's just how it should be. That's good business. I have a feeling I know what you're doing next, but yeah. So I'm glad. What is that? I'm glad that they changed
Keep talking, John. It's okay.
Course. Although I will state though, almost $80,000 for an electric truck is quite a lot. I'm kind of distracted right now. Sorry, guys. I hope that truck's worth it.
From all I've seen, it looks pretty cool, and it performs very, very well.
Isn't this the one that looks like a Ford, but it's not a Ford? Am I thinking of a different one? I might be thinking of a different one.
Unless you're thinking of an Aston Martin. No, this one has the rectangular vertical headlights. So they're like rounded rectangles, kind of like this.
Oh, yeah,
on the front.
Yeah.
Definitely not like anything you've seen on the road.
No, I thought Ford came out with something that looks like that.
Well, Ford has the F-150 Lightning.
Yeah, but don't they have the same tires? Or, sorry, same headlights, like you said.
I don't think so. I think they're a fairly traditional headlight as far as the looks go. I could be wrong.
I could have. Yeah,
now you're gonna make me look
right. No, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. It's got the. It's not traditional, but it's got these.
It's the laser halos
headband.
and
yeah,
which is now a traditional light, thanks to BMW making the look cool and everyone else for copying it.
Well, because they needed room to go over their turning signals.
Sorry, I think that was Audi that popularized that halo look. But
I could have swore I seen a truck that looks just like that, though. And maybe it was this one. And I just didn't see.
Like I said, this one's bounced around the news for a while. Rivian has started taking pre-orders in 2018, so
this might have been it. It's a nice looking truck. I would rather take this, honestly, than the Tesla. I know you like the Tesla.
I kind of like the Tesla. I kind of like that that all aluminum shell or stainless steel shell on the outside.
I mean, it's basically just like a DeLorean,
right?
Essentially, but I don't mind the all aluminum. I don't like the hard edge square Tron look. Is my issue.
I think that's fair.
Like if they made this truck all aluminum, what is that? A Crux? That looks like Crux. It is Crux.
It is Crux.
Oh, it is exactly what I told you to get. Oh, that's a great beer.
So before the show, I was kind of teasing John, going like, "I'm not going to tell you what I'm having, and promise you won't be mad." But John goes, "Yeah, like a couple weeks ago, I opened up one of Crux's beers. It was a bourbon barrel age. It was 14%. And it was absolutely delicious. And like that's really good." And I'm looking down.
You need to get it.
I'm looking down at this beer, going, like it sounds great.
Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
Oh, it's definitely needed.
Look at that, 14%. So from Crux Fermentation Project, they're in Bend, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Crux Fermentation Project in Bend, Oregon. This is the 2021 Banished Series Tough Love Imperial Stout, barrel aged, 14.0%, 70 IBU.
So yeah, the one I did was this year's. So yours is aged already a year. I thought this year's was fantastic.
No, this is 2021. Oh no.
Yeah, no.
Oh right.
Mine
2022. I didn't realize it. It's 2022.
Yes. I had mine. It was only 3 weeks old.
Mine was bottled in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too bad.
Yeah, October 30th, 2021. So it's 5 months, almost 6 months. Little hot on the pour still.
It was. Yeah, that did look a little hot. Mine was nice. There wasn't a whole lot of head. It was very thick. Mine was 0.5% heavier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's supposed to be a all rye stout aged in rye whiskey barrels. Yeah. And so Jeff and I both enjoy a fantastic rye. Yep. Anything basically, liquor and all.
You're right, John. That does sound delicious. Oh yes, 4.21 on Untapped.
Oh yeah, it's hard to get to the 2 marks.
Right, that is that's high praise.
Yes, as Nick Cage would say.
Yes. Oh, what were we even talking about? Oh, right.
I don't know, trucks.
So
we were talking about something. We're about to talk about something else.
Yes. So last week, on essentially March 1st, 2 companies tried to destroy any and all reputation that they had with their customer base. As we see, Rivian made a complete 180, and the other one, well, they're singing Johnny Cash about right now. Little down, down, down at a burning ring of fire. You may recall Artesian Builds, good old Noah Katz. made some headlines this last week for drawing multiple winners in a Twitch stream to give away a computer that the only requirement of was you had to be an ambassador in their affiliate program and have their banner on your Twitch profile. That was it.
Sounds simple.
You have those, you get your name drawn, you win a PC. Simple enough.
Yep. No other criteria.
Right. Well, they advertised a contest. They executed said contest. They drew an eligible winner. And then
they live streamed it. That was dumb.
During a live stream, they drew an eligible winner. And then not only did they change the contest rules on the fly, which is an FCC violation, they also proceeded to basically cyberstalk and belittle streamer Kia, who had her name drawn. The only reason we know about this is because Kia went to Twitter and just posted a clip to the Twitch stream and said, this is how they think of their ambassadors, and I want a PC fair and square. They're not going to give it to me, and this sucks. And the internet decided, yes, indeed, that does suck. So, Artesian was very quick to send out an apology, which basically read like, I'm sorry you think you need an apology, which has since been removed. He gave us the sigh heard round the world, Noah Katz did, in a video apology, saying that, you know, we're going to try to be even better than we have been. Well, you suck to begin with, so...
I never heard of you till now.
Right. So good luck with that. And then he goes, from now on, all ambassadors will be eligible to win one of our PCs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, go back and watch it. It's hilarious. Oh wait, you can't. They deleted it. I'm sure someone's got a copy. I'm sure someone's got it. Andrew says, what is Artesian Build anyway? Artesian Build is a boutique PC OEM system integrator who basically tried to find their clientele in aspiring game streamers. So they weren't really, you know, selling gaming PCs. They were trying to intend them for people who wanted to stream.
Yeah. And
had a pretty decent customer base, but there's been a lot of chatter in their customer base for quite some time about broken promises, about things not getting shipped out on time, about, you know, belittlement by the CEO. And it all just kind of came crashing down this last week. Well, fast forward another week and we find out not only has Artesian Builds not filed taxes in the state of California since 2020, nor have they renewed their license to be an appliance manufacturer or repair organization as required by the state of California. They're basically just circling the drain at this point. Artesian said in a tweet, we are sad to announce that effective now, we are freezing, suspending all activities. Ongoing is analysis by outside counsel for reorganization to ensure fair treatment of clients, creditors, and employees. We expect more information by month's end. We are open to assistance / endorsements. Investments. I bet you are.
Yeah, I bet you are. Everyone dropped you if you had anyone.
Intel flat out dropped them. Intel Gaming was a sponsor of Artesian Builds for their monthly giveaway. Yeah. We are open to assistance and or investment.
Yeah. That's basically, we're out of money. We don't have anything. Please help us.
Yeah.
We're asses.
Hey, Noah, sell your i8. You can probably recoup some of that and maybe even pay your taxes with it.
I know. Well, I mean, the sucky thing is probably he's not going to be able to pay his employees, which is what he should be spending the rest of the money to.
Right.
You know, you as the owner or CEO or whatever it is should at least pay them before you. Yeah, screw you. I saw that. I saw that. It's a great beer.
Sorry, I needed to smoke something. Oh my god, that is delicious. That is a dark chocolate fudge sundae with a little bit of caramel and this back kick of coffee. That is just incredible.
Yeah, no, I got like with it fresh, I got like tobacco and leather and dark chocolate.
Yeah.
It was such a good beer. Like what was so funny was because I came into that thing, it's like, okay, it's Oregon Ben. I'm gonna compare it to Goose Island. I'm like, honestly, this is better than Goose Island. This,
having had them on back-to-back days.
Yeah, right? I know. It's like, man, they're doing something good here.
My God. That is a complete stout. Holy crap. And they're clocking in at essentially the same ABV. This is 14. The current year Bourbon County is 14.2, I want to say. So it's not like one is like massively, overproof
it's not like 3 or 4 points, anything
right.
like that, yeah.
Man. You ever get a Java chip from Starbucks?
I haven't in a while, Jeff.
Sorry, John. I said, have you ever?
Like, yes, I have.
Okay. That's the coffee in this. Like, it's just straight up. It's just straight up crunching on a coffee bean.
It is. It's very good.
Yeah. I mean, if I go to Starbucks, I'm going there not for the coffee, but for the give me the tallest, blendiest, caffeiniest thing that you have. Which is usually a Java chip. Oh my God, this is incredible. I forgot what we were talking about. I don't even care.
Some asses in their company that are going down the drain.
Clean up on aisle, Jeff. Yes.
It's a great beer.
Yep. 50 employees out of work in 2 weeks, just doom flying into their lives because their boss talked smoke and sass and stupidity. Yeah.
That's what I feel bad about more is those employees. It's not, they didn't probably do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. It's that guy and the management just screwed it over. And that's
can I say, I feel sorry for most of the employees because in the stream itself, you had another guy who seemed to have no problem fist pumping alongside his boss, who was actually building the PC. And the moderators in chat seem to really like belittling everyone else as well and kind of backing up their guy. Like, yeah, why would we give it to some, POS no-name streamer? Like, we're Artesian Builds. You know who we are.
Yeah, well, dude, that's but the problem is that's who you want to give it to. You want to give it to those people. So
the irony of him wearing the Star-Lord jacket is Artesian Builds has this giant controversy. Who?
Yeah. Yeah. That is actually funny.
Artesian Builds. I'm Noah Katz. Nobody? Okay. Nope. Only then they shoot him.
Yeah. This
not advocating violence. I'm just playing on Guardians of the Galaxy, in which Peter Quinn sucked. Just to be clear.
Hey, I warned you about this earlier.
Yes, you did. Is it that time?
So it's that time again.
All right. So I'm gonna go.
I have to take a quick break.
Yes.
Quick commercial break. And I'll be right back.
Today's video is brought to you by. No, I'm kidding.
My shoe on.
So John will be back momentarily. It's amazing how quickly fluids pass through you when your entire diet is liquid, shall we say. All right. Moving on. Google announced a couple really cool features for their Pixel phones. Starting with, they have a new Snap at Night for capturing low light videos and pictures, which is kind of cool. Basically, it's a high ISO with some AI processing to remove noise and improve sharpness. Good looking little demo that they showed off there. And it's now available in Snapchat. But probably the coolest thing is they're integrating hearing impaired functionality into voice calls. So when you're in a voice call with someone, you can type to speak. This was TTS or TTL back in the old days for those with hearing impairment to be able to communicate on a phone. They had their own phones and their own devices for this kind of thing. But now you can do it directly on your phone in the phone call that you're on with someone who may be hearing impaired. Or rather, the hearing impaired person can do it with you and talk back to you via text. Always cool to see accessibility options come into the mainstream, come into, essentially being baked into Android at this point. There's a lot more things that they announced in here. There's more languages to automatically translate. So you can scan text and have it automatically translate. I think they added 20 new languages. A lot of cool new features on the Pixel in this short little snippet. Give it a look over down in the video description. Yes. I actually started with that, John. Yes. Because honestly, night capture is a difficult thing with professional equipment. And if you have a little AI processing on the side to reduce noise and improve sharpness, it's always a good thing. I've used the night sight on my Pixel quite a few times. Works great. But now it's available in Snapchat if you so desire. Oh. I did not. Trying to remember. I think it was about 18, give or take. Yeah, I think it's about $18 is what I paid. Oh, sorry. Hold on. That's me. There you go.
That's Jeff's fault, not mine.
I muted you because you were like, okay, get my shoe on here. Hold on. I don't want you to just like fling open the door and we can still hear you.
Oh, that's exactly what I did.
I know. Yeah, I can still hear you, John. I was making sure they couldn't.
Like, oh God, yes.
Hey, pal, I gotta bleed the lizard. Oh, this next story. Oh, man.
You are gonna love it.
Oh,
it's
man.
Your story.
Hey, John. Back in the day, when we didn't pay for anything because it was either buy a CD or don't listen to something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
CDs were like $19 a piece when I had MP3 players that worked just fine. And no online marketplace to actually fill that MP3 player. We just downloaded things for free, right?
Oh, yeah. That's what it was. That was the internet.
Right. I mean, I'm not incriminating myself, but that's what they did. I think the statute of limitations on that is only like 7 years, so we're good. Yeah, we just logged into the peer-to-peer sharing site of your choice, whether it was Kazaa, whether it was LimeWire, whether it was Napster. Yeah, they were all over the place. Anyway, do you ever wish we could have those direct peer-to-peer sharing networks back? Neither do I. Well, LimeWire is attempting to make a comeback. And they're going to do that by selling things to you that you still won't technically own. That is that LimeWire is getting into the crypto and NFT marketplace.
Wait a second. This doesn't make any sense.
So a company made famous by letting you download things you don't actually own is going to now start selling you things you don't actually own.
See, now it would have made more sense if they sat there and said, hey, you can now download other people's NFTs. That would have made more sense for LimeWire. We're like, oh, this is on par with all of their
Here's the thing.
History.
Google Images exists.
Yes, but if I ever try to use that image to make money, Jeff, I probably won't get touched.
Yeah.
Because who's going to want a picture of a monkey or a cat or some really bad painting?
I guarantee Noah Katz owns at least 3 of those monkeys.
Oh my gosh, I know. My my nephew's into it, and he's even like, look, I know this is a cash grab thing, but I'm just cash. It's like, dude, don't waste your money. Yeah. It's a waste of time. And then the amount of effort and tracking you have to do to this type of stuff. This is just a pump and dump type of a thing.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's like, hey, let's pop this up really quick, and then 24 months, not even that from now, you're not going to hear NFT or NFTs anymore.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg and his metaverses, everything's going to be NFTs. Dude, have you looked at the graphics? That thing, I don't want to spend a minute in your metaverse.
Nope.
You know,
nope.
Wasn't there a game or something? Isn't Morrowind going to start doing NFTs and the Rhett's going to get into it?
Boy, if anything's going to get read into it, it'd be Morrowind NFTs.
Probably gonna be like, here's an NFT of this armor you can get.
Yeah. I usually got my music from IRC, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, that was one thing I was thinking though, is I should do all of my beer pictures for the next month, and I should transform those into NFTs.
You should mint those.
I'll mint them and be like, this is an NFT.
That'd be hilarious.
This is beer number 36, NFT. Who wants it?
Yep. You know what's really funny is you could probably sell them for the price of the beer that you're drinking.
Now I'm gonna look into that.
Right? Right?
Oh, who wants to own some Hops and Brews merch NFTs?
I mean, here we go. This one available for only $18.99.
It's just going to increase in value.
Supplies limited.
Exactly. And then once I release the video where you get to see all of these, it's going to increase in value. I swear it's going to. Let me tell you about NFT.
Yeah.
It's a pyramid. Oh, did you watch the South Park Future episode where they're all older and then Butter talks about NFTs?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't caught any of the season.
Oh man. It's their post-COVID special, and they're all like 40 years old, and Butter goes insane by selling NFTs to everyone. It's great. But yeah, so go ahead and download the company software that originally let you download stuff illegally for free.
Right. Now you just pay them to download things illegally.
Yeah. Like I wonder if I took like an old copy of LimeWire, would it still do that? Or would it ask for an update? Archive software.
Probably have to download Flash Player so they could actually inject the viruses direct to you.
How many times are you going to be downloading NFT.exe? Why doesn't it open? Why doesn't it open?
Limp Bizkit dumb.exe.
Well, that link didn't work.
Show of hands. Who's ever nuked their family computer by by peer-to-peer file sharing? I never did.
Never.
Nope.
Uh-oh. Don't know if that link's going to work.
You trying to mint something on the show? What are you doing?
Yeah. course. I'm screenshotting this second by second, Jeff.
Anyway, go to LimeWire or don't. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, whatever. Soon to be coming, though, is Hops and Brews NFT, so check that out. Wait for that. Join the Patreon to get early access, and that only costs you $1 a month minimum, or could be more, but it would literally continue the lights, not at my place, but Jeff's place, but also could be minting more NFTs for me. And then you continue talking about NFTs and teasing me with all of your food, or talking about trades, computer builds, 3D builds, meme wars, whatever you want. But literally, it's probably one of the best Discord communities you will ever join. I promise you that.
And he's not just saying that.
I'm not just saying that because I get free subscription. But really it is. It is. We have other YouTubers that are on there, probably more than they're on Discord. But it is that fun. There is just rooms for everyone. Everyone is welcome. Every talk is welcome. It's great. Honestly, I swear you join. If you're disappointed, well, that's
on you.
That's on you.
But no, Patreon is literally one of my biggest income sources, and really does allow me to keep the lights on here and keep content coming to you guys. And I don't know if you guys saw the increase in content this last month, but that's going to continue because Rhett is now working full time. He has been helping me with filming, editing, all the behind the scenes business stuff that is really super boring and time draining.
So not just your house now, and now it's yours and Rhett's house.
Right. Yeah, you're actually keeping Rhett's lights on too, which is weird because his wife makes a lot of money. Oh, yeah. Join the Patreon, get access to the Discord, come chat with us, and join the super secret after party, which happens every week after Talking Heads. We voice chat live with all of you.
Yes, exactly.
And usually have a third beer, which makes us not eligible to stream on YouTube anymore.
There is some beer news, but the link for there it is.
I got it.
Might kick you out. Okay.
I got it.
So we talked about this a long time ago, actually 4 years ago.
Yeah, I actually looked it up. It was episode 27.
Oh my gosh.
We're on 226. We have done 199 episodes in the interim, John.
Oh man, jeez. That would have been great if it was 200.
Right?
But so Keystone Light 4 years ago changed their labeling and their can art, focusing more on the stone aspect of the Keystone. Basically promoting the stone on their can the most instead of key.
Right.
Basically like the free Wi-Fi, or was it free beer and Wi-Fi? You know, you'll see it's shrunk down.
It was
stone.
Good beer, free food, or free or good beer, free Wi-Fi, but the words are tiny.
Yeah,
and so it looks like free beer.
Yes, exactly. And then so Stone sat there and said, "Nuh-uh. Whoa, hang on a second. You're infringing on our copyright. We've had the word stone and this phrase encroaching. Sorry, I think I said. Did I say
you said infringing?
Yeah, encroaching. Sorry, it's cringeworthy.
Yes.
It's cringeworthy.
Sorry.
It's almost cringeworthy.
Yes.
Encroaching on their copyright. They have a number of patents on the copyright of Stone, and using it specifically for beer.
Mm-hmm.
And they've also denoted that their sales declined once Miller or Keystone, which I believe is Miller AB InBev, whatever.
Yeah. They're not InBev, it's Miller Coors.
Miller Coors,
yes.
Thank you. Started doing this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And they've taken this on by themselves, financing it themselves. And so I think this is the first craft brewery going after one of the big major domestic brands.
Right.
And it's now finally going to court this week. It actually went to court Monday.
Yeah, they had a pre-trial on Monday and presented all evidence and everything else for consideration. Now, just a note here that Keystone filed with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for the rights to Stone and the slogan "Hold My Stones," but was denied because Stone Brewing in San Diego was founded in 1996 and already had the trademark to Stone when it relates to beer products. So they were denied the patent and the trademark for Stone, yet went ahead with their ad campaign anyway, saying things like "Grab a stone," "Hold my stones," and whatnot. And we talked about this 199 episodes ago, where if John or I said, "Go grab me a stone," that means a Stone IPA.
Yep.
Period. Because that's the beer.
That's Stone.
Right.
That's what we know.
That is Stone. If I said to my wife, "Go get me a case of Stone," I'm usually referring to the 12-pack or the 24-pack that you can get of Stone IPAs or the Stone Variety Pack or whatever they may have.
Yeah.
However, when Keystone deleted Key from the main branding of their cans and just went with Stone, I'm in the know. My wife may not be. And if I said to my wife, "Hey, grab me a case of Stone," and she comes home with Keystone, well, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But it's what Keystone wanted.
Exactly. And then they're trying to prove that today. And so most of the time the big domestic places, they'll just, buy you out with lawyers and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to, they're saying that this will probably be about a 2-week trial. So we might have an update maybe the next time I'm on. So that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But if you haven't heard, we've talked about it. That's why I wanted to talk about this. We talked about it 199 episodes ago, and I think we even did an update sometime before that.
Yep.
But yeah, so that is an interesting thing. If it trademark law and beer and stuff like that, so we might be seeing a quick switch from Keystone's branding really soon. Don't know.
Hopefully. I did like their branding with Keith Stone, who was the typical white trash mullet dude. That was good. It was good.
I liked Keith Stone.
Yeah.
Keith Stone. He was the hillbilly MacGyver.
Yes.
With Keith Stones.
Yeah.
With beers, and it's like, oh, I like this. This works, and
I'm on
very
board.
Memorable commercials.
Yes.
So it's like I'm onto this. This is cool.
But that evolved into the "Get a stone, hold my stones," and you don't own Stone. You're Keystone, not Stone.
Yeah.
So, John, I don't know if you noticed, but I gave us 30 minutes.
I did kind of notice that. That's why I was like, all right, I got to do beer news really quick.
It is 9:25, and it is that time of year. That's right. There's a new Star Trek out. Oh, look at you.
Get ready.
Look at you getting all excited.
That's right.
Yeah, speaking of... or no, that's Lagunitas, not Stone. Sorry, I saw the green can and got excited.
I know. It's Maximus Colossus IPA.
Yep.
So
it's a good one. There's a new Star Trek. Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 1. If you have not seen it, and if you are not familiar with Talking Heads when new Star Treks come out, minus Discovery, we usually do a spoiler cast every week that following the airing of the episode. So last week was The Stargazer, Episode 1. So we're going to be doing a spoiler cast with 3 hours to go until the release of Episode 2. If you have not seen Star Trek Picard Episode 1 yet, I suggest you turn it off unless you want some spoilers, because we will get into the weeds here.
But if you do turn it off, remember hit like and probably sub too. So do that first.
Yes. Yeah. Like go away, but it's not that I'm shooing you away. It's just that I don't want to spoil it for you, because Episode 1, damn.
It was,
it was
right?
good.
It was, okay, yeah. so far much better. I thought much better than season 1, episode 1, or most of season 1.
I will say episode 1 of Picard, season 1 was great because you had the dream sequence with Picard and Data on the bridge playing poker.
Oh, God, yeah, that was great.
Like you had that whole sequence, and then you had the assassination attempt on Soji, and there was just so much good in that episode. Episodes 2 and 3 were a little drawn out, and then episode 4 we finally got our footing and went forward.
Yeah. On
this one, episode 1 just started hitting from the beginning and really never let up, and it was so great.
Okay, so I wrote notes and I left them. I think they're in my car. Okay, I think I remember most of them. Nothing like major. It was just nerd ass Star Trek fanboy nitpicky stuff, of okay, at the very beginning we see Picard on the what was the ship called?
Stargazer,
yes, the new Stargazer.
Yes.
And it's going to Red Alert, and the Red Alert wasn't Red Alert.
The intro is we don't see Picard on the Stargazer. We see some lower decks crew coming up to the bridge as security detail.
Yes.
And they arrive on the bridge, and 2 of the 3 in the turbo lift are immediately mowed down, followed by the 3rd rushing out and checking the pulse on someone else and looking around. And there's an unknown assailant or assailants just slinging phaser shots across the bridge. And then it pans over to Picard. And Picard is standing there with Rios by his side, and Seven's on the bridge as well. And Picard initiates a self-destruct, and then the screen goes white. And then we fade to black and we do the intro.
48 hours later.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, 48 hours earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Late.
So this entire season is going to take place in 48 hours.
So
supposedly.
Well, no, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. That's true. Huh. I didn't think of it that way. It could.
Right. Now, we know that Seven and Raji are going to go back in time. We already know some things that are kind of going to happen based on teaser trailers and whatnot. Hey, I like the mid 21st century.
Yeah, so there is, I guess we can already blow the spoiler because it wasn't enough trailers, but essentially Q does show up. And then does his probably, we're assuming he's the one that does it. Something happens. Mm-hmm. Something's changed throughout time.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves because
we are.
Let's start at the beginning because Seven is a Fenris Ranger, and she is taking medical supplies, and it looks like Starfleet container medical supplies, supposedly to help probably some XBs, would be my guess.
Which she's using Raffi's old ship. Not Raffi's old ship, but
yeah, using Rios's old ship.
Rios's old ship.
Which has been significantly modified, shall we say. Not that his old ship was anything to look at, because I don't even remember what it looked like, because it's that unremarkable, but we do know that it's been modified with guns and extra thrusters and things like that. So Seven is fighting off some onboard intruders, and as she's fighting them off, this rift in space opens, which is never a good sign if you're in Star Trek lore. A rift in space is always bad news. It's either the Jem'Hadar or the Borg or some unknown energy being that's going to decimate the entire quadrant. That's what a rift in space means. So this rift in space happens to have some green fringes on the outside. It's obviously Borg. We know it's Borg. So Seven first sees this, and then Rios, Captain Rios, went back to Starfleet after his time with Picard, and is now the captain of the Stargazer.
Yes. So this is, to clarify, this is a year and a half.
Yeah, it's 18 months later.
Yes. So from the previous season.
Yes.
So that it's not a instant and he's, oh, I'm a captain now. No.
Ooh, John, did your camera just die?
Uh-oh.
I think it did.
It shouldn't. It's plugged in.
Your screen just went black.
It did.
So check that. Let me know. Anyway, Rios is now captain of the Stargazer, the new Stargazer, not the old Stargazer, which was Picard's first command. And he is called to investigate. He's the closest ship, and the message that they receive is quickly decoded by a drunk Dr. Girardi, which is hilarious.
He'll be back.
Okay, I was just getting to the drunk Dr. Girardi.
Sorry, what?
I was just getting to drunk Dr. Girardi on the bridge.
Ah, yes.
So they get a message through subspace, through the rift, and it's this garbled mess. And Dr. Girardi was just drinking on the planet below, and she is well and truly inebriated.
She's also with, what's her face? The android girl.
Oh, yeah, Soji. Yeah. So she beams back up, and she's on the bridge. She's sprawling around drunk, and she goes, "Do you mind?" And she walks over to the science station and taps some buttons and whatnot and goes, "It's a message." And they're saying one thing, and it was, what was it?
Oh, it was Picard.
We want Picard or something like that.
Yeah, we want Picard.
Yeah.
We talked to Picard.
Bring us Picard.
Yeah.
So obviously we flash back to Picard. Picard is out drinking wine in his chateau.
Oh yes. Yeah, no, he's not drinking, he's making wine.
Yes. Yeah.
He's making his wine, which if you didn't notice, brand new label. And it was a wax tipped bottle.
Yes.
And so I'm predicting maybe this season or afterwards, we're going to get a new Chateau Picard from Star Trek Wines.
I think we may. I will say for the finale of this episode, I think I'm going to break into my Starfleet Reserve bottle.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I only have an extra of the Romulan ale and the Andorian ale.
I have an extra of the Kanar. That's my one. Extra.
That's right. Sorry,
yeah.
I have an extra Kanar.
Yeah, I bought two Kanars.
Andorian.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's making wine, and then he's drinking wine on the patio of Chateau Picard. Yeah. And Laris, his Romulan housekeeper, confidant, helper, etc. I didn't like this. I didn't like this angle. So apparently Laris was married to the other Romulan
in season 1.
Who I don't even remember his name in season 1.
Yeah.
And he's just dead now.
Yeah, he died basically right after season 1.
Right. Yeah, it's been 18 months now, you know.
Yeah.
And but yeah, apparently Laris was married to this other Romulan, and he was so memorable they just said to him, and then they clinked glasses to indicate that obviously they're no longer married because he's no longer among the living. And then Laris instantly becomes a love interest to Picard, or rather vice versa. Laris wants Picard, Picard doesn't want Laris.
Well, yeah, it wasn't like the Romulans have a deep love for people, but we can love after.
Right.
And then there was always that hint that Picard always wanted love, but never got it because he was a captain. So he dedicated his life to travel.
Right. Can I just say, I hated that.
I did too.
I hated that. I said out loud while I was watching episode 1, don't make this a love interest thing. Don't take that angle. I
found out, I think yesterday or today, that was Patrick Stewart's idea.
Was it?
Yeah. I know. I was like,
he's stupid.
I was like, that's a dumb idea.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tweet at him right now because that'll get his attention.
I mean, it might be like one of those story things like they did in season 1 to where the Romulans were like there for like 3 episodes and they're like, we're never there for the rest of the season.
Right.
So maybe it's just like, I want to be romantic for like 1 or 2 episodes. And then he,
didn't even kiss. He backed away.
I know. Well, he even kissed. That was one of my notes, but
yeah.
I found my notes. I remoted into my work computer.
Well done.
Where I wrote my notes.
Yeah. Who was his love interest? Was it?
There was Vaj was the first one.
Vaj, yeah.
And I have a note about that. I have a tweak maybe So
no, wasn't it Insurrection? He had another love interest.
There was Insurrection who was a love interest. She could stop time. They could stop time.
Yes.
There was Vaj was the thief.
Yeah.
She was the first one in TNG.
Yeah.
Then there was the lieutenant or the science officer who played the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kissed her.
Yeah.
And then
very inappropriate for a senior officer, by the way.
Exactly.
That's what made it so hot.
Forbidden love in the Jeffrey's tubes. I
know what goes on down there.
That's right.
As a fellow Jeffrey.
That's why they make all the lower decks clean them.
Biofilter cleanup on deck 13. Biofilter cleanup.
Yeah, and then
they cannot all be used for that. Oh yeah, it's pretty much all that.
Insurrection. Because they've always tried to hint toward, because it was First Contact. Was it? I believe it was First Contact where his nephew and brother died.
Genesis.
Oh, it was the Genesis.
Yeah,
Genesis.
Okay. Or Generation. Excuse me, Genesis. Generations. Generations. Because they're doing Worf's promotion on the ship, and he gets a notification that his brother and his nephew had passed away. Renee. Yeah. And Renee was as close as he was ever going to get to a son, because he would never love. He would never, and so he's spilling his guts to Troy in Generations about all that.
Yeah. So that kind of like goes into this full circle of, the character building of being a captain and doing everything and going away. But if you haven't watched TNG, there's enough episodes of that. Why he had to leave. So he's talking to her, his Romulan helper, Laris. Thank you. Oh, what happens next?
So they end on bad terms, because she goes, "No, you're you, and I can't talk to you because you're you."
You said it. He pulls away.
Yeah, he pulls away. And he goes, "I hope this doesn't get in the way of our friendship." And she goes, "Oh, it's well past that, Jean-Luc." Yeah. And whatnot. Well, anyway, one of the admirals from Starfleet arrives and talks to Picard and says, "There's an anomaly that's opened up in space, and they're asking for you by name. So you want to take this call, or are you going to leave us hanging?" And obviously, he takes the call and jets off in a shuttlecraft, which is weird because they have transporters. So right. Laris can watch them jet away from the chateau from her porch, and is like, "Well, where is he going now?" kind of thing. And then you don't see her again. Sorry. I missed a big thing. The Admiral comes and asks him to go. He then goes and visits an old friend who has a bar in Los Angeles.
That's right. And I don't know if you noticed this. Maybe you did. The address. Yes. The address was Forward Street. The building was number 10.
Yes. It was 10 Forward Street, Los Angeles, California.
Exactly. So who would that be?
Right. What are the odds? Guinan happens to be running the bar at 10 Forward Street, Los Angeles, California. El-Orians, excuse me. Different race, no makeup. Just big poofy hats. They only age if they choose to. And apparently Guinan has chosen to. Because
I thought that line was dumb.
I thought that was dumb.
I thought that honestly, I didn't think she looked facial wise looked fine. You didn't have to sit there and say anything, and I would have believed whatever nothing. Just sit there and say, "Hey, I'm here." Right. That's it. That's all you had to say. Right. I would have believed her and this looks great. This is totally fine for a de-aging or anything like that. Which again, I think she looked fine.
They didn't even do that. That was just
exactly. So it's I don't know why that line was there. It was a dumb line.
Yeah. We understand it's a retrospective, I can understand that Data now has some jowls, like that obviously was not Data in his dream, as we remember him as the very svelte, slender android that he was in TNG. He's still a person. It's still a show. It's still a screen. Like, I understand there's limitations to what you can do in theory, at least budgetarily. So didn't like that line. However, the whole interaction with Guinan, I thought that scene was dynamite.
Oh, the scene was great. Like, the acting and everything, the dialogue was great. I do have a critique, though.
Okay.
I do have a critique.
So let's explain what happened first, and then we'll critique it. So, so Picard walks into the bar, and Guinan, without looking over, just says, "I'm going to need a pot of Earl Grey, piping hot." Yeah. And turns around and Guinan, and they hug it out and whatnot, and they sit down, and Picard is wrestling with Laris. Because he goes, someone loves me and I don't want to love them back. And so they have this whole discussion about this, plus Picard's duty and obligation to Starfleet, and they're asking him to go away again, and he's not sure what he wants to do there. Again, Guinan is the ear that Picard lends to. So, Guinan gives him some great advice. Basically, you are you, and you need to do you, and be damned everything else that you think is expected. But critique.
I mean, I don't agree. Technically, it was the best advice. I think I really love the scene. Don't get me wrong. I really love the scene. I think it was great, but I think the whole Picard going there for advice, and then her response just seemed like this was fan service. Now, it was really good fan service, I thought, but I don't know how much it plays into it. I am hoping we see more of Guinan and Picard as a character, because we know her race understands time, and that will play into it. Because I'm really hoping this comes back, like she's bartending later somewhere else, and it might be one of the only people, or then this is why I didn't like the line that she said, we choose to age.
Yeah,
because she could have. Now in TNG, she was back where hanging out with Mark Twain. Yeah, technically, if they traveled back in time,
that was hilarious.
She could have been there at that time.
Yeah, so
she wouldn't look quite so, which means she's not going to be in there, but it would be really good.
Yeah,
that would have been a good character to have, and could have helped Picard guide him through things. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was. I really liked it as a fan, and it's the typical Picard guy and everything. But then I watched it a second time, and I was like, this doesn't do a whole lot to the plot. Maybe, I don't know. I questioned some of the script.
I never judge a plot from episode 1, through to episode 4. What I will say is I thought overall the interaction was well written, and took me right back to what it was during TNG, where Guinan was that ear that Picard needed to divulge to.
Exactly.
And whether or not Guinan gave him advice or Picard came to his own conclusions is kind of inconsequential, because all he needed to do was talk through his problem. And that's what a good counselor does, even though we happen to have another counselor on the ship. But Guinan was always like hey, Picard, here's an Earl Grey.
I don't want to make
what ails you
personal. I don't want to put this in logs.
Right.
And everything it's Guinan.
Right. So I thought overall the chemistry was absolutely still there between the two.
Oh, yeah. Totally agree that one.
And Guinan basically said, you need to do you. You need to go about your business and respect your duty if you think that's what the right thing is. So Picard goes on this mission. Lara sees him shoot out in the shuttlecraft, going there goes the only man I'll ever love, even though I loved another man for 20 years prior to this. I
know, yeah.
Picard arrives on the Stargazer, and 7 of 9 greets him at the shuttle bay. Which one?
Hang on, we're forgetting. There actually is some stuff. Picard is back in Starfleet now. That's another thing we forgot to mention. He is now technically accepted and is an admiral.
Oh yeah, no, he was already an admiral, but he was retired, and he's still retired. And so I don't think there's really any difference there. They asked him back into active service, is what they did.
Yeah, and he also did the ceremony.
Yeah,
for the new graduates. So in between, I think even before the the night scene with Rios, not Rios.
With Guinan. Yeah.
Girl. Yeah.
No, he does
like a graduation ceremony.
Yeah, he did a commencement ceremony for new Starfleet recruits.
Which includes the Romulan kid from the previous season.
Yes, as the first full-blooded Romulan Starfleet Academy inductee.
Yes, which I did know it was an interesting thing because Picard commanded the first Klingon, and he helped inductee the first Romulan.
Yep.
So an interesting note there.
However, it was Sisko who commanded the first Ferengi.
That's true. That is true.
Ensign Nog reporting for duty. Anyway, he arrives on the Stargazer, which obviously the Stargazer, not that Stargazer, but the previous Stargazer, was Picard's first command. We never see any of this on screen. This is all just part of lore and part of Picard's past. But he immediately meets with 7, and normally there's some kind of a connection between Picard and 7 because they are both former Borg. But you have to remember, Picard is no longer former Borg. He's now a synthetic life form, thanks to the Soong Institute saving him from death.
Yeah.
Did you remember that?
I did remember, and there's a nod to it really quickly. I honestly think they're sweeping it under the rug.
No. I don't think they are, because here's the deal. Because they arrive on the bridge, and Picard hails sends out a hail to whoever is broadcasting through the rift and says, "This is Admiral Ricard responding to your request," and then says it again. And then all of a sudden something starts coming through the rift. And it is not a shape that we are familiar with. It is,
no, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is something brand
large.
New. Something large and something very brand new. But the voice we are very familiar with. Lower your shields or power down your weapons, lower your shields, et cetera, in 1,000 different voices set upon 1,000 years, which is the Borg. Now, in this scene, Picard turns to 7 and says, "7?" And she goes, "Yes, it's Borg." Normally, Picard would be able to hear their thoughts already. I thought that was a great nod.
That's a good point. I did not catch that one.
He confers to her and just says 7, and she confirms and says, "Yes, it's Borg."
Yes, because in
he
First
doesn't
Contact,
know anymore.
He can hear.
Yeah, he can hear their thoughts still. Right. So I thought that was a great nod to season 1, in which Picard is no longer human with Borg implants. He's now an android, essentially.
Interesting. I didn't grab that.
Yeah.
Although there was the whole, how's your, the girl, the scientist girl who murdered her boyfriend. Yeah.
That was funny. Well, I was acquitted of murdering my last boyfriend, and the longest relationship I've ever held before then was only 6 months, so you probably don't want to buy me a drink.
Yeah. But she's like, "Oh, how's your Pontronic day?" or something along those lines. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I know what she's talking about." Mm-hmm. But yeah, I didn't get that the Borg reference. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the Borg then come, and then they're saying that they want to join the Federation.
Right. They were quoting Article 15 of the Federation, requesting admission to the Federation as a joint entity.
Yes.
which is very unlike the Borg.
Well, we have to remember, though, that in season 1, though, that the Borg are probably on the brink of extinction, or they're very badly hurt because Borg's cubes are being captured and their technology.
Well, even after Voyager, we knew the Borg were kind of on the run, because who would the Borg be afraid of? Yes. And so we know they're being hunted by species 8472. We also know that in the Alpha Quadrant, people are getting the better of the Borg. We know the Romulans captured multiple Borg cubes and have been dissecting them for technology and whatnot. And so, yeah, the Borg went from this very fearsome enemy to all of a sudden a band of refugees, essentially.
Yeah, so that might be a key of something going on. And so the Borg then stated they would send an ambassador to communicate and work out the terms.
Yes.
And then they state the new queen.
Yeah. We will send you our queen, is what they said.
Yes.
Not the new queen. We will send you our queen, was the exact wording. Our queen.
I got it right here.
Do you?
I'm gonna listen. Yes. So, because what we have to also state is this new ship, the Stargazer, is the first Federation ship equipped, retrofitted, with Borg technology,
built with Borg circuitry. Right.
Yeah. Other than Voyager, we all know the end of Voyager. Yes.
Well, Voyager led to the Stargazer.
Yes.
And so it has integrations of Borg technology that no other Starfleet ship has had before.
Exactly. So that's what this one had. And so that's why it was somewhat able to stop the Borg ship. What does she say? What do they say? I have subs.
Okay.
Oh, they're already transporting her. It's hard to find that exact moment.
We will send an emissary. We will offer our queen.
Okay, yeah, there we go. And we all know the Borg Queen is a huge role with Picard and Data, actually.
Yes.
In First Contact, and then also Voyager, but mostly, First Contact for Picard and his life.
Yes.
And the history with him. So I do believe at the end of Voyager, wasn't the Queen captured at the end of Voyager?
Captured? I'm not sure.
I don't think so, but we do know from trailers the original Queen, who's now played by a different actress, but it's the same, comes back.
Yeah.
And so the Queen we then see is not the same that we all know from First Contact, or portrayed as. It is this, honestly, I thought it was actually pretty cool looking. Very like masks all over the face, everything, but the face just had a bunch of gears going. Yep. You could see it was a female physique and everything, but had a big cape. And then it said something along like, before peace, we seek peace.
We wish for peace, but first we require power. What do you require? Power. And then she shoots these tentacles out and jams them into the commands or the control consoles of the Stargazer. And crewmen immediately opened fire on the Queen. At one point, Rios shouts out, the Queen is stunning them, not killing them. Or Seven shouts that out, excuse me.
Yeah.
But the bridge crew obviously sense a threat, and they don't want the Queen infiltrating their systems. Rios is freaking out.
Yeah, well, it's also at this time, there wasn't just the Stargazer. There was a fleet of starships there, and she was hacking the fleet and taking control of all of the fleet through the Stargazer.
Yep.
And so they couldn't communicate with them to tell them to open fire on the Borg ship. And then, so Rios says that they're stunning everyone, but there's also a countdown of how the percentage that they're taking control of the ship. And someone says, I think it's Rios or Seven, says you need to self-destruct the ship. And Picard, with his admiral authority, goes and just does his because he only needs technically one code versus the traditional first officer, second officer.
Right. Yeah. Rio says we're out of options. Picard says computer activate auto destruct sequence.
Yeah.
Authorization Picard 000 destruct 0. Like, it's the same combination I have in my luggage. That's pathetic.
I know, like,
Picard.
I thought the same thing. Like, wow, what a one.
010. Like, throw something else in there.
A, B, D, F, anything.
010 ampersand 0. Like, something. Where's your goddamn special character, Picard?
It's amazing. It's only 5 characters.
Right.
What's this? This is easily hackable with today's modern systems.
00000 is essentially what he gave for a password.
It's the equivalent of admin.
Right.
Admin.
Right. So anyway, the ship explodes.
Yeah, and blows up. Everything blows up.
Right. Picard wakes up and he's in the greenhouse where he last saw his mother. And
no, he's in his kitchen.
He's in his kitchen. Oh, that's right.
He's in his kitchen.
He's in his kitchen. Wakes up in his kitchen.
We did skip that little scene, but we can talk back to it.
Wakes up in his kitchen. He's sitting on the floor in his kitchen. Wakes up in his kitchen. He's got a very strange uniform on with a very strange insignia on his chest.
Yep.
Wakes up, stands up, shouts for Laris. Laris is obviously nowhere to be found. And an android comes running and says, would you prefer your beverage on the veranda this morning, Captain?
Yeah.
The solar shields are holding well. The sky is delightfully clear. Who the hell are you? Harvey, sir, are you feeling all right? No, where's Laris? Laris, a Romulan name. In colloquial English, translates roughly to a new day. Would you like me to check the migrant rosters for such a name? What is happening here? An excellent question.
Picard's like,
yeah.
Yes.
What is happening here?
Holding his head and be like, I don't know what's going on, questions. And then we just hear this voice.
Yeah. What is happening here? An excellent question, Jean-Luc. Mon Capitaine. Oh, how I've missed you.
Oh, that was the perfect execution of it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it just sounded like old.
And Picard goes, no. Turns around and Q goes, oh dear, you're a bit older than I imagined. Let me catch up. Exactly as I wanted it.
We predicted this. Honestly, I was even sitting there thinking of doing an edit of the explosion of the spaceship versus like a battle in season 1 to where that explosion and then it just jumped to Q. It's like, oh, that would have been a much better transition. And then the whole cyborg thing and Picard wouldn't have been dead. But anyways,
Now, I will say, if you go back and watch last year, we predicted most of this conversation.
Oh, yes.
Let me catch up. Like, Picard, you're so old. You know, is that better? You know, like, we went through that whole thing. There. Now we're even. Q.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it, Q. Do you recall what I said to you when last we parted ways? The trial never ends.
I swear they watched this show.
I swear they did, because that's word for word.
Word for word, how we said it needs to play out. And
the trial never ends.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Oh, God. I almost hope. So one of my notes was, I wish somehow they could have kept Q out of this season, like knowing that he was in it. That would have like bombshelled this whole episode. Would have been fantastic.
I kind of like the idea of now. We know episode 2 is going to be weird.
Yes.
Like, I think
there's going to be more. I think there's going to be more Picard Q interaction, and that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. But there's so many other characters that are now woven into this web. I mean, think of the hell that Q gave the entire Enterprise crew over the 7-year journey. And then jumped onto DS9 and made appearances on Voyager and so on and so forth.
Was he ever on while 7 was there?
I don't know that he was. I think he made an appearance in season 2. on
I
Voyager?
know he made like
because he brought
appearances.
Riker at one point.
Yes, that was the first one.
Right.
And I think that might have been season 1 or season 2. And then he did the whole Q Continuum battle.
Right.
And then there was like one with his son. And that was like the 3 episodes with Q in Voyager.
Right.
But I don't know how much.
You're correct. 3 episodes of Voyager. Quinn, War, and Junior.
Yeah. And I don't think 7 was involved in any of those. She might have been on the cast,
right?
But I don't think there was any interaction, and so Picard might be the only one who knows of Q firsthand instead of like Lower Decks. We know of the Q.
There's no reference to 7 of 9 in Voyager in any Q episodes.
So that could be interesting because now it's a whole fresh new. That could be a cool aspect that you could take, like. Oh, I see you have a new cute crew, and let's see if it's like the old one, or, where's Riker?
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Let's bring him in, shall we?
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
There's so many possibilities.
So many possibilities.
Geordi appearing in a visor, like, I haven't worn this thing in years. What the hell?
Oh, man, that would be great.
Let's get the band back together.
Yeah, so that's how the episode basically ends.
Yes.
I do have, again, like I said, small critiques. Red Alert was wrong.
Can I just say?
All right, go ahead.
Are the Borg no better than Microsoft? Embrace, extend, extinguish. That's essentially their goal in this episode. They want to embrace the Federation, extend an arm of friendship, and then destroy them.
Well, they're still using SQL query, so in the future. So
they totally are. Yeah. Now, what the Borg didn't understand is you have to take the best and worst of every species you assimilate. And with us, that was humanity's compassion and sequel.
Apparently.
But you had a point. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So I had some small nitpicky things, and this is just fanboy stuff of, so when the Red Alert happened, this has been something since Star Trek from the beginning, that it's always been the same Red Alert. Even old Red Alerts when they did Enterprise has been the same Red Alert. It's been the voice of
Majel Roddenberry.
Exactly. Which, if you don't know, people don't know, which is not Guinan, Counselor Troy's mother.
Yeah.
What was her name? Lexana Troy.
Luxana. Yeah.
Luxana. Yeah, that's her. And so she's the voice of the computer of the Enterprise and Red Alert.
Yes.
And this season they changed it. I was like, Tim didn't like it. It would have been just a nice nod. Would have just been a nice nod.
Yeah.
I don't like the new J.J. Abrams phasers. The pew, 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 pew. I like the old solid stream.
Yes and no. I mean, stylistic choices. I really don't care one way or the other. I honestly, I never really liked the old phasers.
Oh, I love the old. I also noticed, did you notice they switched back to old phaser styles?
Yeah, they went back to handles.
Handles.
To gun style, right. Yeah. See, my problem is that all through TNG and most of the way through DS9, you shot a phaser, which is a concentrated beam of plasma that shoots out and hits someone, and you deliver so much energy, right?
Yeah.
It's a stream. So if you want to just and cut down an entire line and stun them, why the hell wouldn't you do that? No one ever did. They aimed for one person.
What they did, for cave mines and everything like that. So let's wideband.
So what they started doing in DS9 is they did wideband on the phaser rifles to get any changelings out of the room. Yeah. And then they went, oh, we could have been doing that the whole time. We'd better go back to pew pew.
Yeah.
It tells a better story.
I don't know. I just see. The song was different, which was an interesting aspect because this is the first Star Trek, I think, to change its theme song within each season. Let's see. The self-destruct sequence was technically wrong. I talked about the wine. There was, and then again, this is nitpicking. There was a flashback of Picard as a child, and it put him in like 1920s French clothing.
Right.
And I was like, no, he wouldn't be wearing that as a kid in France.
Right.
It's like, no, I get that they're trying to show this as being old.
Jean-Luc.
And traditional. Yeah. So dumb.
Yeah.
But okay, whatever. I did find a mistake, actually.
Yeah.
And I'll give you everyone a timestamp. 1320.
Okay.
This is when
can you give me a chance to guess? Can you give me like
sure.
Okay. Like give me the scene. Give me the scene.
Okay. It is in his chateau, and he's talking to the Romulan girl before the kissing out scene.
Yeah, talking to Laris. So are they on the patio? Are they clinking wine glasses?
She is about to serve him tea in his library.
Okay. Not visualizing that one well.
I know. It was
Go for it.
So it was just a bookcase and placement of characters. And so you can sit there and see one scene. Oh, he's by a picture, and another scene he's on the opposite side of a bookcase, and it's plainly like clear as day. You know, one thing's on his left, one thing's on his right. It's like,
yeah,
that's just an editing.
He's looking for the book so he can take it to the commencement address. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I got you.
That's the scene. Yeah. Exactly. 1320. If anyone's interested in finding that thing, I did find it interesting though that this season seems to be hinting at Picard's love life / intimacy issues.
Yeah.
And Q turns up, and Q was the first one to steal his first love interest.
That's true.
Which was Vaj, who she then went with over Picard. So that was an interesting. I don't know if that means anything, but just an interesting note. Well,
if I can give Picard one piece of advice moving forward, it's to carry one of these around with you wherever you go.
Yes, exactly. I think they're trying to play something up with Picard's mom, like childhood past, and then that might be the Borg Queen. And I really hope that's not true.
I don't think that's true.
I really hope it's not. I think it's more of a memory thing. What
they've talked about in the past is that Picard's father beat the hell out of his mother. That has been hinted to a couple of times in the past. And I think that's in part going to rear its head with Picard's intimacy issues or regression or not wanting to be involved on that level. I don't think it's going to involve itself with the Borg Queen at all.
Okay, so here's my thought.
Okay.
In his flashback, where he's wearing these outdated clothes, way outdated clothes, his mom gets dragged away by something and stabbed.
Yeah.
We don't see what it is.
Right.
And then at the end, we see this Borg Queen quote a line that his mom stated. I don't know if it's more of they're trying to relate back to Picard being like, we actually do mean peace because we have your previous memories when you were assimilated.
Could be. Yeah.
Or are they trying to, and this is the stupid obvious point of your mom's the Borg Queen and we technically took her years ago and that's why we wanted you to be Locutus.
Right.
Type of, and
yeah.
Please, I highly doubt that. But please don't let that be.
Please don't do that because we've seen the Borg Queen in multiple movies and TV shows. And it's not Picard's mom.
Picard. Exactly.
Right.
Well, this is the new queen or maybe the ultimate queen.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
don't
telling
want that.
You can't go wrong.
Maybe the Borg Queen needs that.
Picard, get the poison out. Take one of these, go to Ryza, take a nice long vacation.
Right? Where is Ryza?
Get some shore leave.
I'd love to see Ryza again.
Well, you find Riker, you'll find Ryza.
Now we are guaranteed Riker and Troy are coming back.
Yep.
And a couple other characters are also coming back that were not in season 1.
Yep.
So I won't say who, but it's fine. I think that's pretty much episode 1.
Yeah.
So
it was a good episode overall. Like we critiqued the heck out of it here, but overall, it told a great story. Visuals were amazing. Like,
oh yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Like visuals. The only thing I would say is like
Borg Queen Ultramax.
Yeah, I wish.
Are they running on their own silicon, or did they assimilate that?
I wish they did as good of a deep fake, and you probably haven't seen the latest, not Mandalorian, but it's Boba Fett.
Star Wars. I watched all of them.
Okay, so the Luke Skywalker deep fake on that was amazing.
That was tremendous. I will say the Q deep fake to de-age him and then explain, like, let me catch up. Like, I wanted that so bad, but I didn't think they'd actually do it. And to see it executed at that level,
it was so good. It was good, but I was like, man, for those 3 seconds, it could have been a little bit better.
It could have been a little bit better, but I'm also not disappointed that they just did it.
Exactly. That's my.
It told the story and then it moved on. It's not like we're gonna have to live with de-aged Q for the next 7 episodes.
Exactly.
It was.
I get it all.
Jean-Luc, you're so old. Here, let me catch up. And
exactly, it was great.
God damn it, Q. Right.
Oh yeah, it was great.
As only King Arthur could say. Anyway, that's a spoiler cast. That's an episode of Talking Heads 226 here on Craft Computing. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. John, see if
I'm still alive.
Yeah, see if John's still alive in 2 weeks. Good freaking luck is what I will say on that one.
I'm feeling great right now.
Right. Yeah, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Like this video if you haven't done so. Subscribe to Hops and Brews if you like the beer content on this channel. What else we got here? Join the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. Get access to the exclusive Discord server and the super secret after show. Join the awesome community that hangs out over there and voice chat directly with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads.
We already got people joining in that chat room.
Sweet. Of course we do. It's 10:15. We got to be there in 15 minutes.
I know.
So I got places to be and a bladder to empty. Thank you all so much for watching this one. And as always, we will